Picture a night in Africa, thousands of years ago. No city lights, no pollution, only the endless velvet sky stretched above, filled with stars brighter than most of us will ever see in our lifetimes. To African civilizations, these stars were more than decoration. They were maps for travelers, calendars for farmers, prophecies for kings, and sacred messengers from the gods. Yet when you open most Western textbooks, the story of astronomy begins with the Greeks or Babylonians. Africa, once again, is silenced. But here, we reveal the truth. Africa had one of the richest star traditions in the world, from the mysteries of the Dogon to the alignments of pyramids, from the myths of the Zulu to the cosmic calendars of Ethiopia. The African sky still holds secrets the world has forgotten. Imagine standing under a vast African night sky. The land is quiet, no streetlights, no noise, just the shimmering universe above. For ancient Africans, these stars were not just distant lights, they were teachers, guides, and guardians. When farmers in the Sahel looked up, they searched for the Pleiades constellation. Its rising was a signal, the rains were coming, the earth was ready to be planted. To them, the stars were a calendar written in light, far away on the Swahili coast. Fishermen set out to the Indian Ocean. With no compass in their hands, they trusted the constellations. Stars became their map, leading them safely across waters that others feared to cross, long before European sailors arrived. But the stars were more than science. They carried spirit. Griots, the storytellers of West Africa, told tales that linked human destiny with the cosmos. The stars became characters in myths, guardians of memory, and symbols of fate. Healers, too. Before performing sacred rituals, read the heavens. They believed each star pulsed with a vibration, a force that connected the universe to the human soul. In Africa, there was no divide between science and spirituality. To study the stars was to understand life itself. And so, every gaze, upward, was more than curiosity. It was wisdom, survival, and a reminder that humanity is forever connected to the cosmos. High up in the cliffs of Mali, where the stars shine brighter than anywhere else, lives a people with a secret. They are called the Dogon, and their story begins with a star. For centuries, the Dogon passed down a mystery, the story of Sirius, the brightest jewel in the night sky. They said Sirius was not alone. Hidden beside it was another star, small, dense, invisible to the eye, a star that danced around Sirius every 50 years. When French anthropologists arrived in the 1930s, they were stunned. How could the Dogon know this? Modern science had only just confirmed that Sirius is indeed a binary system. Sirius A, the shining star, and Sirius B, its tiny, powerful companion. The question still lingers. How did the Dogon know? Some believe their observations were far more advanced than we imagine. Others whisper of ancient teachers, beings who passed down knowledge of the skies long before telescopes existed. Skeptics say the Dogon must have learned it from outside contact, but even then, their wisdom stretches far beyond one star. The Dogon spoke of the universe's origin, of spirals that mirror the structure of galaxies, and of vibration, the hidden rhythm at the heart of creation. To them, the stars were not just lights in the sky. They were the blueprint of existence itself. To the people of ancient Kemet, the sky was never empty. It was alive, a goddess named Nut. Every evening, Nut swallowed the blazing sun, and every morning, she gave birth to it again, a cycle of death and rebirth written across the heavens. The Milky Way was seen as her great celestial river, mirroring the Nile that gave life to Egypt below. Priests studied the heavens with devotion. When Sirius, the star they called Sopdet, rose in the dawn sky, it was a divine signal. The Nile would soon flood, bringing water and fertile soil. This was not just astronomy, it was survival, written in the language of the gods. But Egyptian knowledge went even further. The pyramids of Giza were aligned with Orion's belt, their stones placed to echo the order of the cosmos itself. Temples like Karnak were designed so that, on the solstices, the rising sun would pierce through their sacred halls, flooding them with light. For the pharaohs, the stars were destiny. They believed that when their earthly journey ended, their souls would rise into the heavens, becoming eternal stars in the body of Nut. For the Egyptians, to gaze at the sky was not to see emptiness, it was to glimpse eternity. South of Egypt, in the ancient land of Nubia, the heavens shaped kings and queens. Here, the kingdom of Kush raised temples at Napata and Meru, not randomly, but aligned with the winter and summer solstices. Stone and sky spoke the same language. For the Nubians, power was not only written in bloodline, it was written in the stars. Kings and queens claimed that their right to rule came from celestial cycles, from the rhythm of the universe itself. Among them was the great queen, Amunerinus, the warrior queen who defied the might of Rome. Her leadership, too, was wrapped in cosmic symbolism. To her people, she was not just a ruler of the earth, she was chosen by the heavens. In Nubia, the crown was more than gold. It was a reflection of the cosmos, a reminder that true kingship was aligned with the eternal order of the stars. In the heart of southern Africa, rising from the hills and valleys, stand the ruins of Great Zimbabwe. From afar, its stone walls twist and turn like a giant puzzle, a city carved not with mortar, but with precision and purpose. For centuries, Great Zimbabwe was remembered as a trade hub, a place of gold, ivory, and power. But hidden within its walls lies another secret, a story written in the stars. Archaeologists studying the site discovered that certain structures aligned perfectly with celestial events. Stone passages frame the rising of the moon. Walls line up with the constellations. These were not accidents. They were deliberate, crafted with cosmic intent. Oral traditions say the rulers of Great Zimbabwe looked to the sky for guidance. The stars and the moon told them when to plant, when to harvest, and when to call their people together for sacred ceremonies. Here, astronomy was not separate from daily life. It was woven into survival, into kingship, into the rhythm of the land itself. Imagine the night sky over Great Zimbabwe, 1,000 years ago. No cities, no lights, only the brilliance of the cosmos. The stone walls became more than defenses. They became instruments, marking the heavens, turning the city into a living observatory. Great Zimbabwe was not just a fortress of trade. It was a bridge between earth and sky, a civilization that understood that true power lies in harmony with the cosmos. High in the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia keeps time differently. Here, one of the world's oldest calendars still ticks, 7 years behind the Western one. But this is no accident. It is a rhythm born of the stars. The Ethiopian system, rooted in solar and lunar cycles, carries echoes of ancient African timekeeping. Every year, the new year begins, not on January 1st, but when Sirius, the star of rebirth, rises in the dawn sky. The same tradition once guided the Nile Valley civilizations, binding Ethiopia to a cosmic heritage stretching back thousands of years. But the stars shaped more than time, they shaped stone. In the 12th century, at Lalibela, churches were carved directly into the rock. Scholars believe their layout was no mere architecture, but an echo of the heavens, a sacred map on earth, and in Aksum, where mighty, steely, and towering monuments still rise. Their purpose seems clear: to mirror the skies above, to anchor the rhythm of the cosmos in the heart of a kingdom. In Ethiopia, time, faith, and power all moved with the stars. The heavens were not distant. They were woven into the calendar, the temples, and the monuments of daily life. Here, Africans did not just study the stars. They built entire civilizations in harmony with them. Across Africa, the night sky was never empty. It was alive with stories. Each community looked up and saw not just stars, but spirits, ancestors, and the voice of the divine. Among the Khoisan of southern Africa, the Milky Way was no mere band of light. They said it was ashes, scattered by a young girl who wished to bring light to the dark world. Her spark lit the heavens forever. To the Zulu, stars were eyes, the eyes of ancestors, gazing down, guiding, and protecting the living. Every star was a reminder that the dead were never truly gone. The Yoruba, in West Africa, saw constellations as messengers of the Orisha's powerful spirits who ruled the balance of nature. When the stars shifted, it was the voice of the Orisha speaking. For the Ashanti, stars were tied to destiny. They told of reincarnation, of life that returned again and again, like the endless cycle of the heavens. And among the Bantu, the stars marked life's great journey. A boy was not yet a man until he could read the heavens, learning the constellations that guided survival and spirit alike. Across the continent, the stars were never only science. They were ancestors, gods, and guides, living beings who connected Earth to eternity. Then came the colonizers, and with them, a darkness fell, not just on the land, but on the sky itself. Missionaries looked at African cosmologies and called them pagan myths, sacred traditions, the alignment of temples, the calendars tied to stars, the rituals guided by the heavens, were silenced, mocked, and banned. The colonizers knew the truth, that star knowledge gave power. It gave kings divine legitimacy. It gave priests and healers authority. And so, to control the people, they tried to erase the stars. European scholars rewrote the story of science. They praised the Greeks, glorified Europe, and quietly hid Africa's contributions. The knowledge that flowed from the Nile, from Nubia, from Ethiopia, from the Sahel, all of it was buried under colonial lies. Generations of African children were taught that their ancestors had no science, that they lived only in darkness. Yet at the same time, Western sailors navigated oceans with methods borrowed from Africa. Western astronomers marked calendars with knowledge first charted on African soil. Colonization was not only about land, gold, or bodies. It was about memory. It was about taking away the sky itself and claiming it as their own. But the story of Africa's stars does not end in silence. The sky, once stolen, is being reclaimed. Across the continent, a new generation of scholars, scientists, and storytellers are lifting their eyes to the heavens and to their heritage. In South Africa, one of the world's largest radio telescopes, the Square Kilometre Array, listens to the universe. Standing on African soil, where the ancients once charted the stars with naked eyes, in Mali griots, still carry the memory of the Dogon, reciting their cosmic knowledge as living history. In Ethiopia and Egypt, historians are re-examining ancient temples and pyramids, finding alignments that modern astronomy confirms, and across the African diaspora, communities are rediscovering the myths of their ancestors, the Zulu, the Yoruba, the Ashanti, the Khoisan, reconnecting with the night sky as a map of identity and belonging. The stars of Africa are being reborn, not only in science, but in story, in memory, in spirit. For when Africa looks to the heavens today, it is not just stargazing. It is reclaiming a truth buried for centuries, that the stars were always African. Look up at the night sky. The same stars that once guided the builders of the pyramids, the Dogon astronomers, the Zulu storytellers, and the Ethiopian priests, they are still here, still shining, still watching. Africa's ancestors always knew a truth that cannot be erased. The stars are not distant. They are part of us. They carry our history, our destiny, and even our future. No colonizer could erase that. No textbook could bury it. No silence could hide it. Because every time the stars rise, they whisper the same reminder. The sky still belongs to Africa. And you, watching this, are part of that awakening. By learning, by questioning, by sharing. You are helping Africa's true history shine again. The stars above us have never forgotten, and now, neither should we. If this journey opened your eyes, make sure to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Africa Untold, where we uncover the stories the world tried to erase. Because our past is not lost, it is written in the stars.